Berries are the first thing that start to come in on our homestead. We've spent a lot of years cultivating our different berry crops, our different varieties, and we've shown you that in past videos. But today I want to show you how we actually deal with the aftermath of all the picking of all the berry crops that we have on the property. Before we get started, I'm Julia. I'm one half of the Canny Couple, and we're a small homestead family that work every single day to merge homesteading and frugality. And one of the big things for us is sustainability, and where we actually started on our homestead was putting in a lot of perennial, long-term crops on our property. So we're talking about our orchards, our berry crops, and things of that nature. So we've been getting berries consistently for probably, we've always gotten blueberries. We've always had blueberries, as you can see. We've got some very mature blueberry trees, but over the years, we've added to that. So we have boysenberries, loganberries, blackberries, black raspberries, gooseberries, jostaberries. We've had currants. Just about anything you can think of that is in the berry family, we've added to the property, which starts to become a lot because a lot of them come in at the same time, or we have them to where they stagger out. So you'll have blueberries, logans, and boysens come in. Then we have blackberries. Then we have our raspberries come in. All of these things kind of come in at a certain time frame, and we kind of have to be on top of it to, number one, make sure we get them, and number two, to manage and make sure we're preserving them and not letting them go bad. Before I go through my process, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe. So how do I manage this? I will tell you, this has taken me some time to figure out how to do this well. It really has. I have a lot of fruit has went bad. A lot of logans and boysens and blackberries and red raspberries. I could not keep up with it. Last year I really figured out my process. This year I've had to update it just a little bit, but I have really figured out how to do this to where it works for me. So what I do is I take the crop that we picked the night before, and as you see, this is my salad spinner. These are the blueberries we picked the night before. And these here are our logans and some blackberries. I've got to go through them and clean them up. And then these are our black raspberries that we have here in an Ann. If you haven't had an Ann raspberry, like these little yellow golden raspberries, that one's gone. That one will be ate when Aaron gets home. We'll split that. Maybe try to get the baby a bite of it because we don't have as many of those. But it's one of our absolute favorites. So what I will do is I get these picked and we let them set overnight. Make sure as many of the bugs that I can get to crawl out from the top and handle that. But then what we do is I set them in water, and you can use lemon juice, you can use vinegar, any of those work to help pull out any pesticides, any bugs. Water also just works, so if you don't want to add anything to your water, you can just use water. That will work for you. So I get these soaking in water. I let them soak for between 15 minutes to an hour. Just let them sit there. It tends to work really well for me, and then I will start rinsing them off and washing them out. I like the salad spinner the most, so as you can tell, the bulk of the berries are in there. And the reason I like the salad spinner is because you can literally just pull it out and then dump the water out and then rinse and repeat. Because right now, as you can see, this is about 3/4 of a gallon of blueberries. This is what we picked yesterday. And yeah, you can see we have some green here, and I'm going to tell you why I left those there here in just a second. But as you can see, that's a lot of blueberries. It's a huge amount of blueberries. There's no way we can keep up with eating all of these. As you see, this is a lot of blueberries and a lot of logans and boysens and black raspberries. It's really hard to eat all these before they go bad. So this is what I do to get them ready for in the freezer. Now, we have had to start picking them a little bit greener. So as you can see, these berries that we just picked, they're not all fully ripened. As you can see here, this is one that's fully ripe, totally purple. This is one that is not. This is one that is still ripening here. Now we are picking them when they are a little bit on the greener side, so you can pick blueberries early, you could pick Logans and Poisons early. As you can tell here, this is a poison that's not quite ripe yet. This is a poison that is. You see the color difference. As long as you get them when they start ripening, you can go ahead and pull them. Now, why do we do this? Well, we have had a really big bird problem in our blueberries. They've really been picking at them pretty heavily. We are getting 30 to 40, some days 50 berries that they've picked at every day. And we're picking every day. This heavy every day. We're consistently for 3 days, we got half a gallon. Now we're actually above that, and we're not at peak yet. So to make sure we're getting them as well as we can, or if there's going to be a rainstorm, we pick super heavy. If you pick them when they're, let's see if I can find that one that was green. So you can't pick them green. You have to pick them like this one here. You see this one here, it's kind of got some green on it. It's kind of got some purple. You can still pick these. These will still ripen in your house. It's okay. If you pick them like this, they're not going to ripen. I don't quite know how this ended up in there. Now, what happens is when you're picking blueberries and they're huge bunches, like we get these massive bunches on ours, when you're starting to pick them, the bunches will come off. So I typically just drop those on the ground, let them go. We also throw off the ones that the birds have been eating on, hopefully keeping them off of the plants themselves. But this has been one of the worst years for them to actually pick. So I'm getting these cleaned and ready so that way I can get them fully ripened. And they've ripened quite a bit since last night. There was a lot more green on these. Like, it's crazy how quick blueberries ripen. I have picked in the afternoon, like from like 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We go back out at 6:30, 7, 8 o'clock, and there's more berries to be picked. That is how fast just a little bit of sunshine, it doesn't even have to be full sunshine, will help make these berries. You could pick them. So I start the washing process. I will get these rinsed off, washed, picked through, make sure there's no leaves, nothing like that. And then what do? I need to get them to ripen. So if I had something that was already ripe, like blackberries we would typically tend to pick pretty on point. When they're fully black, we don't really pick those when they're red unless they're going to get picked on. Red raspberries, I would absolutely make sure I put those up as fast as I can get them. What I would do is I would use the salad spinner and get them fully dry, get them into a bag and in the freezer. The reason why is because they go bad so fast. You cannot eat them fast enough if you've got gallons and gallons at a time. Unless your family is at large that you eat gallons and gallons and gallons of berries at a time. Ours is not. We're a small homestead. So I actually like to put a lot of ours up for the winter time. So anytime Aaron gets a blueberry craving, he'd go open up a jar and have some blueberries. I'm not a huge berry person. I have a hard time eating them. I can eat 10 little black raspberries at a time before I'm done with them, and then I'm kind of out. I'm kind of done. So I have to be very careful. So here's what I like to do. I like to lay them out when they need to ripen up. These have already been cleaned. I like to lay them out, set them out in my kitchen where I can see them, but I like them laid out where I can actually start to see the berry. I can catch anything that might be going bad, anything that's going to rot. I use this for tomatoes too. Same process from beginning to end. You see I have paper towel here. This is one of the areas I will always reach for a paper towel. Personally, you can use a regular towel, but for me, I can see bugs better on a paper towel. I can see any mold spots better on a paper towel, and it's really easy for me just to get rid of it, throw it away, or bad spots, anything like that. So what I will do is I'll go through these, and as you can see, some of these still need a little bit more time to ripen. This isn't fully at this stage, so you can see the difference. I'll just throw that in there, and whenever I rinse this off, I'll lay it out. It'll be ready to go for the next one. I'm also going to look for any stems in here. Laying them out kind of lets me see if there's any stems that got missed, because you want to make sure you don't have stems, because we're going to can these a little bit later in a couple months. So I'm looking for stems. I'm looking for any places that we might have missed as I go through. And this just really kind of helps. Laying them out flat doesn't seem like such a big deal, but man, I'm going to tell you, just a few small things. Instead of looking at this in a bowl, looking at this on pan on the white, changes everything for me. I feel like I can see it so much easier and it's so much faster for me. Same things with my Logans and Poisons and black raspberries. So I will tell you, we are a multiple bucket picking. It is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful to see people have all their produce and all their berries in one big basket. And if you're putting them away, it's so impractical. Ask me how I know. um, I've spent hours picking through blueberries and poisons and Logans because we would use one basket. We stopped that last year. I was like, nope, we're getting enough that we can't do this. So we actually would use bowls. We would carry a couple of bowls in the bucket and switch between them. Well, now we actually just have 3 to 4 buckets that we carry out and go between them. So we start with the blueberries. Aaron has a bucket, I have a bucket. We go through and pick, and then we switch off and put all the blueberries in one bucket and do the black raspberries in one, the Logans and the Poisons, and the gooseberries and Jostas. So the gooseberries and Jostas, they take a little longer to ripen, and I don't have so many that I mean, you can really tell the difference between these and the other ones, and they're not so hard to pick out. They kind of look like grapes, but they're not. Like it's really hard to explain. But I'll just leave those out, and then as they get ready, if there's just a few, we'll go ahead and eat them. But as we get more and more, we have a good crop on our plants this year. We'll put those in the freezer like we do everything else. So I hope this really helps and inspires you, because I know this is an area I struggled with so bad, so bad. And last year actually was the first year I had so little waste. It was not even funny how little waste I had, which before I would throw away probably a fourth of our crop because I couldn't keep up with it. And that was pretty consistent. Now, what I do have a problem with is the gojis. They will go bad really fast. And I hate cleaning them, and I hate dealing with them. So that is Aaron's responsibility. He deals with the gojis if they don't get put up fast enough. But for the most part, this has really worked really well for us. And like I said, I can go through, get them clean, get them ready, have them in the freezer. Then when it's time for canning season, pull them out, and we're ready to rock and roll. And this has worked so well for us the past few years. And like I said, as they are ready, I will use a salad spinner. It's just where we're having to pick early because of the bird problems. I'm having to wait a little bit longer to put them up. But it's just part of my process. So I'll put these up and then get these out when they're ready. But it's worked out really well for us, and I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, comments, please leave those in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. We try to reach out to everybody who leaves us one. And check out our link tree where you'll see all of our other content. And as always, thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.